most people are not thinking about taxes. A lot of Kenyans actually don't have a problem with taxes. It's just that they don't have the right information. They don't have the right knowledge. And I still believe the basics are everything.
We're at the mercy of a system that doesn't really work well. And if we don't know what we're doing and they don't know what they're doing, then what are we doing?
We do our parts.
Eunice, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I was very excited to have this conversation because tax is not an area that I know it's very important, but it's not an area that I know too much about, nor does it excite me. So I think we're going to have a good conversation around this.
It doesn't excite a lot of people.
But I think let's start by talking about her legacy.
Yeah.
Where it started, when it started, how it started.
Oh, wow. Okay. Her legacy. Her legacy started officially 2023. I started a legacy in 2023, October. That's when I started the Instagram page. So I go with that because to me, that's when the business started. Before that, I think I had registered a business name in September. I was like, there's this thing I want to do, but I couldn't put the right mind to it yet. And then one day I was like, you know what? There's this thing I want to do. I know I have something in me for small business owners. How do I do it? So that's how her legacy started. But funny thing is, I started her legacy. It was meant to give me money to run another passion project.
Right. Which was?
Which was her finance. Which was, I wanted to create a platform that helps women get their finances together, build sustainable businesses, connect them with opportunities, because there are so many opportunities out here. I wanted to build a platform that would have opportunities, that would have resources, that would build a community for women to just come and empower each other. I just wanted to create a financial empowerment hub. But then I looked at it and realized it needed finances. And I don't have money at the time because I've just come from closing down a business I had run for 8 years and I'm broke. So I'm like, okay, this is where I am. What do I have? I have knowledge. I'm very good when it comes to taxes. I'm very good when it comes to accounting and all these things. So I'm like, I'm going to use what I have to give me money
to finance
my passion project.
Yeah.
And so I started her legacy. And the rest is history.
Okay.
So I still think about it, but I feel like I've managed to do empowerment through her legacy. So it's still evolving. So eventually I tried to still run a business page for her finance and everything. And I noticed it was very straining because it was all me. So I was like, I'm going to find a way to still do her finance and her legacy. I'm still thinking about it, but it will get there because now I started her legacy and then it's it just got a life on its own.
And so her finance was focused on empowering other women and providing financial literacy.
Yes.
And her legacy specializes in tax education.
Here's the thing. I tried to register her finance. But apparently you cannot put finance in a business and it's accepted.
Yeah,
the name.
Apparently.
Yeah, so they told me, to choose a different name. And that's where legacy came in. Yeah, okay. So it was her legacy. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start this thing. What am I going to operate it as? I was like, her finance will be the brand for the other business. But legally, because I can't have a legal name, her finance, her legacy would be its legal name.
Right.
And then now the tax space became...
So then you started doing tax consulting.
Yes.
How did that even happen? How did you get to learn about taxes, especially in this ever-changing situation that we have here?
So ideally for me, it's not by chance. Academically or is it professionally? I've done CPAs. I'm a CPA.
Okay.
And I also have a background in economics and finance.
Okay.
So it was just part of the path.
It made sense.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, what do? I know this. And then I realized there were so many gaps when it comes to taxes. And almost every single conversation you have with small business owners or even big, like taxes is one of those things that affects all businesses. Small business, big business, it doesn't matter the size of the business. There's always a tax tone to them.
For sure.
Yeah. And I figured out, and I still believe, the basics are everything. If things can be set up the right way and do things the right way from the onset, we avoid the point where we are getting to a company that's being asked for hundreds of millions,
Yeah.
Because if we do things set up the right way, then we put in structures from zero and grow. So you see, if we do things the right way from day one, we'll never get to that part where companies are being closed down or crumbled because of taxes. And so my focus has always been to work with startups and small businesses so that we grow.
Yeah.
We build a system. From day one. I believe how everything is a system. You know how savings is a system. Everything is a mindset thing. With taxes as well, the moment you put in the right structures from the beginning, you grow with them and you grow being perfect.
I think that makes sense. I think in theory that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just trying to speak for myself here. When I'm starting a venture, starting an endeavor, whatever it is I'm doing, I am not
thinking about taxes.
Not
That's the thing.
Thinking about taxes. Yeah. I'm not like, let me go hire a tax consultant to make sure that I'm sorted from day one.
Yeah.
Also, it's another expense that I'm not thinking about. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to deal with that later. Yeah. What would you say to someone like me who's...
Do you know, the funny thing is most people are not thinking about taxes. Like, in fact, the only people I've ever encountered who are thinking about taxes, bookkeeping, accounting from day one
are people
for some reason, it's always people, either foreigners or people who've like done business in other countries.
It's true.
Those ones, they come in with the same, like day one, like one of their first expenses is an accountant.
Yeah.
Because they want. So for Kenyans, or for most of us, we start businesses to give you that extra source of income, or, you saw someone else doing something and you thought it could be a good business
100%.
And you tried. That's how a lot of people, that's how a lot of people run businesses. So they don't think about the responsibility. I feel like it comes down to a responsibility thing where as a country, we still haven't adapted the culture of thinking about everything has a responsibility attached to it.
Yeah.
The moment you decide to open a company, what are my responsibilities? Because it just can't be about sales and money. No, there's so much more to it. And unfortunately as well, we don't have a system that educates people on that. Like when you register a business name, there's no follow-up or education. Okay, this is your business name, taxes or something of the sort, or let's go to a limited company because that comes with its own PIN. I genuinely believe there should be like a manual of some sort.
There should be. There should be. But do you think that, okay, maybe this is a conspiracy theory, but do you think that...
I like the theories when it comes to taxes. Let's hear it. Okay.
Do you think that maybe that's by design? Maybe they don't want us to know everything there is to know, maybe because...
I think it's not intentional. I think the most unfortunate thing, even the people who are working the system don't know how to work the system.
Right.
So I don't think they sit down and I'm like, we're not going to tell people about this. Even them, they don't know, because you find most of them have never owned businesses.
Yeah.
Most of them have never run businesses.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of, I have this information, I'm withholding it, and then we're going to punish them.
It's not that they're going to punish, we're going to extort them.
So I don't think it's that. I think it's just, everything is still very old school. And how businesses run has changed. How taxation is done has changed. Because before 2014, everything was still manual. Can you believe people had to go somewhere with paperwork?
Which is crazy, 2014.
2014.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I think it's just, there's still a lot of places where everything is still so manual, no systems. And then to change that because of bureaucracy is just crazy. Do you know the other day? Last year or maybe this year, I don't know, this year has been so long. I wanted to officially become a tax agent from KRA side. So I did the application. And then after the application, it tells you, bring your CV and everything and your qualifications to our offices for approval. Do you know, I go to KRA and no one has any idea who does the approval. It's like, try this office. I go to that office. And I tell them, I'm here for this and this. It's like, I don't know who's meant to do that. Try that place. So I go to that place. So eventually I find a lady, she's like, let me just check in the system who this task is assigned to. And she tells me, so it reads HQ. And when it reads HQ, it just means no one knows.
Oh my God.
So eventually she makes calls and everything. And it's like, there's no one.
Yeah.
So I asked them, what do you mean? Like, so the best explanation I can give right now is there are so many changes going on, so we don't even know what's meant to be done. And you see, this is a system itself.
Yeah.
So from what I gathered from that conversation is that there are policies that are changing also internally, but there's no proper communication or proper structure for how everything is meant to go.
Yeah.
And I think that, unfortunately, is one of the biggest problems that we have. You see what you're talking about, the conspiracy. It's just higher up, there are people who make decisions. There's no proper communication and trickling of like the processes, the workflows and everything that's meant to be done. And then all the people who are here, they were given something, a process, and that's what they follow.
Yeah.
Anything past that, they don't know.
Yeah.
And there's not much they can do about it, because even when they try to follow up themselves, it's like, Mimi and my CVs and my qualifications and my certificates, we went back home.
So, but then let me ask, we're at the mercy of a system that doesn't really work well. And if we don't know what we're doing and they don't know what they're doing, then what are we doing?
We do our parts. Imagine the simplest way to make your life simple as a taxpayer, as a business owner, is just do your part.
Yeah.
Because the moment you're doing your part, I always tell like my clients, the moment you are doing things the right way,
they can't catch you for anything.
Even if they come, they're like, oh, hi, welcome in. What do you need? Here it is.
Yeah.
And we're good.
Yeah, and you're compliant.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. We're going to try our best. Now, her legacy.
Yeah.
You started off trying to finance another project, but now are in tax compliance, tax consulting.
Tax consulting.
And how is that? How is that going? Who are your clients?
Yeah.
What are you learning?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Let me tell you. It's been 2 years. I feel like I'm still building. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still working on so many things.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a question I read on a form, and it asked, what has been the most chaotic part of business?
Yeah.
And my answer was, I'm still in the chaos.
It's still chaotic.
It's still chaotic.
Yeah.
Because
it's always going to be chaotic.
Someone tell me when I get to that point where it's not chaotic anymore. Because when I started it, you see, I just come from running a business for 8 years, or rather owning, let me call it owning, because I feel like running and owning a business are two different things.
Yes.
So I'd owned a business for 8 years. It was still around the same space as her legacy, because we were doing accounting, bookkeeping, and stuff like that. So when I started her legacy, I found that I was still following that structure. And I was like, but this never worked. But I realized it's just because, it's very easy to go back to the familiar.
Yeah.
Like this is what I had done for 8 years.
Yeah.
So if you were to look at, let's say, my content, because IG has primarily been my marketplace and where I get my clients from.
Yeah.
You'll see when I started, I was doing bookkeeping, I was doing what. But it was just because that's what I knew.
Yeah. And you narrowed it down.
So and then I was like, okay, I can't be everywhere. I need to figure out what it is I want her legacy to be known for.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what it is when someone thinks the first thing is Eunice or her legacy.
Yeah.
We'll do this for you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. I was talking about bookkeeping because that's like one of the simplest things in the world. It's so
Not
easy.
for everybody. Not for everybody.
So for me, it's one of those things I can do in my sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's no challenge there. And I don't know why, but I like challenges.
Yeah.
I like figuring things out and solving problems. And then I see the result. It just gives me a certain level of joy I can't explain. So I realized, one, Kenyans don't care about bookkeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it doesn't matter how good I am at it. If people don't care about it, you won't have them interested. So I was like, what is people's pain points?
Yeah. Taxes.
And that's what we always told.
Yeah.
When you have a business idea, you need to figure out about the market, people's pain points. So I always say the funny thing is I owned a business for 8 years, but the last 2 years of her legacy have felt like the first time I'm running a business because
it's different.
It's different.
And you're doing it alone now.
And I'm doing it alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, so many things to figure out. Pricing, you would expect because I'd done a similar business, it will have come with a cheat code for this. I had to figure out everything afresh. Like I was someone who was starting at zero because I was basically starting at zero.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, people don't care about this. It doesn't matter how much you market it and everything. You'll get one person interested, but they're like, you tell them how much you charge. They're like, for doing this. People feel like that's just a cost. They don't even understand how it's adding value to my business without realizing how it's the core of your business being successful.
Yeah.
It's what tells you whether your sales numbers are correct.
Your prices, all of it.
It's at the core of everything, but for some reason, people don't think about it like that. So I was like, you know what? I won't force people to go to the river, and I won't force them to take the water. I have to pivot.
Yeah.
So what are people asking for? What's a pain problem for them? Tax. And the best part about tax, different industries, as much as there's these taxes that are common, the way it applies to different industries is different.
It's a bit more complex.
It's a bit more complex.
Yes. Yeah.
And I found my joy there.
Yeah.
So every time I get a new company, it's like, okay, I have to figure that one out. There's the basic ones. We have that. Well and good. But everything else, how does it get taxed? How does it apply? So that's how I ended up pivoting to taxes.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's been taxes from there. Now, the moment it was taxes, it was okay. This is the way to do it. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, taxes is fun and good, but everything else connects to taxes. So now I'm able to talk about everything else, but it's bookkeeping for tax compliance.
Mm-hmm.
It's systems for tax compliance. Mm-hmm. So tax compliance became my brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is.
That's exciting.
I'm honestly, I get so excited. Like, it's one of those things. Sometimes things get so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting to be able to work on something that genuinely makes you happy and excites you. And when I see how I make a difference in businesses, how I have a conversation with someone and they're like, whoa. Like, every time someone tells me, you've just changed my perspective of all these things, and you see how they affect their business towards it, it's just a happy place for me.
I think that's the key.
Yeah.
It's like, if it becomes exciting when you understand,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so you see your clients understanding more about what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And you enlighten them.
Yeah.
And then it all of a sudden, it's not this, monster, under the bed. So, so I think, I can understand that.
You can understand that.
You
still don't get taxes, but you can I can see it's like,
I get the fulfillment that you feel.
Yeah.
I get the fulfillment that you feel. I understand that feeling where you've actually made a change and a difference in someone's business and they walk away with so much value. So I get that.
Yeah.
And maybe when I start my next venture, I'll think about you first.
It's not a maybe. You'll definitely think about me.
And I'll make sure to come to you first. First thing.
Yeah.
So that all my affairs are in order and it's not like in a Juakali way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very vital. And I also see, one of the things I've noticed, a lot of people don't think about the legacy of their business. Yeah. They don't think about their business 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I think the moment people start thinking that your business can be bigger than you, then you start thinking about structures. You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a very good point.
Like, it's not, like, let's say for me, anyone who knows me can tell you, I have an exit plan for her legacy. See how I'm building this really, really beautiful, amazing thing.
Yeah.
I literally have an exit plan for it.
Yeah.
Like, I know this is where I want to take it. When it gets here, I do have an exit plan because I know there's a point where it will get someone else.
Yeah.
Needs to be the one who's running this and all that. And I'm okay with it.
But actually, women don't think about that. Women don't start businesses with the intent to have this legacy. I think a lot of the time we do it because we feel like there's a need in us.
Yeah.
And we don't actually have we don't think about the growth too much.
Yeah.
We just think about solving a problem that we're having in that moment. And I think that's an amazing thing for you to just think about legacy and to open women's eyes to thinking of their business as bigger than themselves. Yeah. That's so important.
It is.
I think we would take our entrepreneurial efforts to a different level.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I see it a lot where you see someone building a business that's working so well, but they're the business.
Yeah. And we can't step away from that.
Yeah. And you see, as women, we do actually get to step away from it because there's something called motherhood.
Exactly. Yeah. There's other things.
There's other things. I saw a lady say her business took such a hit when she became a mom because 90% of the revenue was depending on her.
Yeah.
And you see, now those are some of the things that we need to think about. But there are books out there. There's this amazing book. It's called The E-Myth Entrepreneur. And it talks about that, putting in systems such that there's a difference between working on your business and in your business. So it talks about how most small businesses, they are everything and they are working like them and the business, there's no separation.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because the story it tells, because the entire book is like a conversation of this person and this business owner. It's based on the American market, but when you read about it, it's literally every single problem that I'm having, you're having, and every other person is having. And then you realize, oh, these things are standard.
Yes.
So it's such things. I'm like, okay, I'm very keen on that. So one of the things it tells you is think about your business and how you'd want 5 more to be replicated by 8. So you create those processes there. And you know, the funny thing is, as I'm talking about processes, ask 99% of business owners today, what's their problem? They'll tell you it's capital.
Okay. Well, yeah, but it's actually processes.
But you know, it's not.
Systems.
It's systems and processes and all these things that get you to your sales numbers.
Yeah.
I thought, again, personal story. I got a grant from my previous business. And I think for the longest time, we thought it had a cash flow problem. And we got money. And we had money. But money ends. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
If you don't have a system for bringing in more, and not through getting funds, through sales, then no amount of money you're given
is going to help you.
Is going to help you. And you see, systems are all round. Sales systems, branding systems, marketing system, people systems, you know.
Yes. If you have those systems, though, I just need money. I need money.
You just need money.
Yeah, I can do systems. Yeah. Systems is fine.
Yeah.
Money.
You need money.
But no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's true. A lot of people don't think about really setting things up and having a nice process flow in their business.
Yeah. Because you know what happens? Sorry to interrupt you. When you have systems, you're able to build with where you're at, such that even if you ever get funds, the funds come in to push you to the next level.
It's true.
They don't come in to be what you depend on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, it has to be a sustainable situation.
You'd think it's an obvious thing.
Of course.
It's not. I've seen so many businesses get funding, and then it's like they get funding, they're like, yeah, we have money. So they're hiring, they're doing operations. And then when the money ends,
that's it.
The business ends because you see they constantly had cash flow and they thought they were good.
Well, did they constantly have cash flow? Did they constantly have sales? They just had a capital injection that they did nothing with. But I mean, you're not really running a business in that case. I don't think you have a business.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you mean. You have to figure out how to sustainably operate the business, and that's purely from systems and processes.
Yes.
And now we're getting into the AI age, and I hope that's becoming easier for people, and it's becoming automated. And I think it's important.
It is.
It's important.
It is.
I want to actually take you a little bit back because you talked about running a business with one of your friends.
Yeah.
For 8 years.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that story. How did you, it was your best friend?
Yeah.
You came together?
Yeah. So, I always remember how that conversation started. We were in campus, so we were doing the same course. And I remember when I was in 4th year, I remember telling her, do you know, everyone seems to know what they want to do when we graduate. I don't. You know, like I've done my CPAs, I've done my economics and finance. We're about to graduate. You hear people say they want to work in banks, they want to work in what. Like I was genuinely in 4th year and had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Yeah. It wasn't an obvious one.
Should we know what we're supposed to do?
I'm guessing we should.
Should we? I mean, we're 12, okay? I'm just a baby. I don't know.
People seemed like they did know. No. So I was like, I really, really don't know, you know. So it's like, okay, I've done, like, I used to go for internships in accounting firms. I always knew I enjoyed accounting. And then there was a time, you know, when we were younger and everyone wants to work at UN because they're doing all these things, adding more to life and doing more. So there was that. And then you want to work at KRA because KRA at that time was a big deal and all these things. So I think life had forced me to grow up a bit because I just became a mom. And
after campus?
No, when I was in campus, actually.
When you were in campus? Okay.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, I actually had my son 6 weeks before I reported for 4th year.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
In fact, he was born. Then 6 weeks later, I was reporting for 4th year. My mom, bless her soul. And I did it.
How did you do it?
Do you know the crazy thing? I had straight A's in 4th year. While nursing.
Because you were serious. And then it gives you this drive, doesn't it?
It gives you this drive.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there was that bit of it.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's this, like I always say, you know how you feel like some sort of disappointed because you got pregnant while in campus? I always say for me, getting pregnant saved my life because I was so lost as a 21, 22-year-old.
As we should be.
Now, lost. You know, we should be lost. But I was so lost. I remember at some point, and I've never told anyone this, I actually contemplated taking a break from school.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know what was the point.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm doing 2 schools.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of this, honestly? Like, where is this life even headed? I always feel like I had a quarter-life crisis. And then I got pregnant, and then it's like, puts everything into perspective. And then I had very supportive friends because they were like, no, we're not going to drop off school or do schools at a different time because we were doing both schools with them. Like we were doing the degree and CP at the same time. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. And whenever it's going to get tough for you, we'll be taking the notes for you. We'll just keep you up to date. And I always...
Those are some good friends.
Oh, let me tell you, they did everything for me. And so... pregnant 22-year-old, did 2 schools. I would go to KU in the morning and then go do my CPAs in the evening. I always said, I did my CPA Section 5 exams when I was 8 months pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. And let me tell you, resilience, it starts there. So the kid is born. I get a break from both schools. The kid is born. And I realize when we're opening for 4th year, it's 6 weeks later. But as God would have it, my classes were structured so nicely. Like I either had classes in the morning or in the evening. So I just used to express. I go to school, come back, breastfeed, express. That's how I did it.
Wild, though. That is wild. Because breastfeeding is a job, pumping is a job, school is a job. No.
And crazy. Let me tell you, I did, and it was a manual
pump.
And I used to do 6 bottles a day. Because,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But so you finished and you started 4th year.
I started 4th year.
Graduated.
4th year was amazing. So it's during 4th year, I'm like realizing I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And for me, that's scary.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people who are a bit of a control freak. I know it, I own it. And I'm like, okay, I think I need to think, about this. So I was telling her, I genuinely don't know what I want to do. And then as luck would have it, as I was finishing campus, I had a family friend who told me there was a volunteer program at UN. So I got to go into UN to do volunteer. It was so much fun. It gives me so much joy. And then as I'm doing that, I'm just like, I don't think the corporate world is for me. But I don't think in this very moment it's hitting me per se. Because you see, UN is a whole different experience of corporate.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. All these, what are they called? Resources and benefits. So much fun. But it was only for a short while. But it was such a good picture of what that could be. And then when that ends, I became an audit trainee at a certain audit firm. And then as I'm doing that, I'm realizing, no, this isn't it. So as in the process of that, I ran into a girl I used to know, and she tells me she had opened her own firm. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I could do that.
How old were you at this point?
I think I'm like 24.
Okay.
Maybe 25. I could do that.
I'm sorry, I was a joker at 24 and 25, but
don't forget,
I was not thinking about
becoming a mom.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Took me.
Yeah.
I remember, man, when we were volunteers, like our supervisors, the time she called me and told me, there's something different about you than everyone else. Like you seem to have
it's the motherhood, I think.
Some level of responsibility and
it's the motherhood.
I told her, my mom was like, that makes sense. But I can say there's something different about you.
Yeah.
So I think because of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, so after I had the conversation with that lady that I knew, I told my best friend at the time, like, who started this company? Because you also don't know what you want to do. I don't know what I want to do. Jobs are not coming through.
Yeah.
Why not create? Oh, there was also the part of jobs not coming through.
Of course.
You come out of campus thinking
and you think
you've graduated with honors. You have a CPA. You think everyone will be out here waiting for you like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you come out here and no one cares.
Nobody cares.
Absolutely. You're even trying
no one can afford you, or
you're even trying to get free internship and you're not getting it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can't, for me, wallowing is not my style. What can I do about this? There are businesses out here, need services. Not everyone can afford the PwCs and the needs of this world.
Small businesses.
Yeah, I have this skill that I know how to use. Maybe we can start something and start serving small businesses.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but we need some sort of work experience. Like me, I'm going to go there. And then you talk to that lady because you also know each other and see whether you can learn things from her. And that's what we did. And we gave it a timeline. So by this time, we would finish. And then now we'd come and start the company. And then as life would have it, temptations or being tested. Do you know the day I was finishing my traineeship to come and start the business, I had an opportunity to get into the UN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which you didn't take, obviously.
Which I didn't take.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believed in the business,
right,
and the vision for it. And
but that's a really brave thing to do, because you said no to a guaranteed position and a guaranteed check.
It was very scary
to start your business.
Yes.
Okay.
But I believed in it.
Yeah.
And for me, I have this. I always say I am those people who are dreamers. Like when I have the idea, even if I don't know where it will end, I run to it. Going. I don't need to overthink it.
Yeah.
I take chances. I like taking chances on things. And that's how the first business was started. And we started it, got like a client, very little money. But at that time, we were just grateful for anything coming in. And we ran that from 2016 to 2023 or 2022. But when I look at it now, I don't think that's how you start a business, and especially a partnership.
What happened? What happened to the business and the partnership?
We were two people who individually had our strengths, but we never learned how to use our strengths together.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of compromise and everything, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So we never defined, in terms of responsibilities and building the business, what each and every one of us was doing.
Right.
So ideally, we were two people trying to steer one ship at the same time.
Yeah.
And logically, that can't work.
Yeah.
There has to be a co-captain. There has to be who runs this ship up to this point, who runs this ship up to this point.
So you didn't have defined roles?
No.
Okay.
We were business
just
owners.
Winging it. Oh.
It was exciting. We were
I'm
partners.
an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Oh my God, we are entrepreneurs. We're running a business together.
Okay. But you're 24, 25. So that's okay.
But you see, time is going. Because, we are now 28. Is anything different? No.
Okay.
And then there's that other part where I realize now, I don't think we ever had a clear vision of where we wanted to take the company
to go,
or what the business to go, or what was the goal of this business.
Yeah.
I think ideally it was just, how you start the business selling these mugs just to get money to eat.
Yeah.
I think it was like that. And I don't think that's a good way of running a business, particularly a partnership.
Yeah.
It needs to be more. It needs structure. Again, my story of structure is very personal, So what happened with that, I used to find, of course, we had this idea. We are two amazing, brilliant women. We'd meet someone and they're like, oh, you guys can do this. Mm-hmm. There's potential here. There's money here. And we would move there.
Yeah.
Still within the same space, but maybe a different angle.
Yeah.
And we go there. And then we do it for a while and we realize it's not panning out. Then we get back to here. And then we meet another person and they tell us this. They're like, oh, that could potentially have something. And then we go there, So
there was no solid vision or direction that you were trying to go.
When you have a solid vision and direction, it becomes your compass.
Very, very important.
Yes. So it doesn't matter what everyone else has to say. You know where you're
doing,
going,
where you're going.
And every single thing that you do is towards
that thing.
Agreed. And it's very, very important because there are so many opinions out here.
It's true. Do you think there's a difference between that and just being open to pivoting, should I say? Because it's one thing to have a compass. And if that's not working out and that direction is not working out, then you have to be agile enough to be able to take a different direction. Oh. So what's the difference and what was the difference for you?
I think I'm all about pivoting.
Yeah.
But there are strategies.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
You can pivot your strategies as many times as possible. Let's say today, if I want to build $1 million business, the $1 million business is my goal.
Yeah.
Or let's say I want to have 1,000, let's say, users or something on my platform. That's clear. How I get there can pivot as many times as possible. But there's that.
But there was a goal,
the why,
even unrelated to what
the
why is. Yeah.
The why can't keep pivoting.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So you're saying your why is your compass.
Yes.
And your why is very important.
Yes.
And you didn't have a why.
Yes.
And so you were going from left to right, not really having a purpose or why of the actual mission of the business or anything like that.
Yeah. Because it's fine even like we'd set targets and they'd keep changing. Yeah. Today they're here. Like so many. Like, but at the core of it all, I just know there was no
direction.
Yeah. It's okay to pivot. You see how I'm telling you?
Yeah.
When I started, I was doing bookkeeping, what. And I was like, okay, this is not working. What can I do?
Yeah.
There was a time like I was offering tax training services and it was giving me like, let's say money. But I look at other things, I align them and they're like, this is not making sense. And even the money that I'm thinking about is it taking me closer to there? Okay, it might be taking me closer, but what am I sacrificing?
Yeah.
Whatever I'm sacrificing, does it make sense?
Yeah.
And I put that aside.
Yeah.
So you see, on the strategies and on the how, you're allowed to pivot as many times as possible.
Understood.
There are people who even pivot their why.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, there are people who pivot their why, but I feel like even when they're pivoting their why, they still have what?
There's a core
thing.
That they're after.
There's a core thing.
Is it really pivoting your
why?
why?
So it's right. Yeah. So there has to be that core thing, and that core thing is what we never had.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why we also didn't have it, because you see, we had never
had those conversations
or done a synergy of the two different people.
And your two different skills.
And your two different skills and your two different strengths. Yeah.
Okay.
So at times I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe if we had things the right way, maybe
we
will have. But then when I think about the maybes, I realize her legacy wouldn't be here.
It's true.
If
that
everything
had
worked
for a reason.
Yeah. If that had worked, her legacy wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine her legacy not being here.
Yeah.
Like it has been such a, you know how you're told entrepreneurship makes you grow?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship takes you on a personal development journey.
Yeah.
I think it's actually that journey that I wouldn't trade for anything in the world.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Of course, it was hard having to walk away from that, having to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And the conversation came from a point of, I am so sorry, but this is no longer working for me. This is not serving me or my family anymore. I know it sounds selfish, but unfortunately I have to be, because I have to take care of my kids. Yeah.
Did that affect your friendship to today?
Well, I think naturally it's bound to change, because you go from being in the same space with someone every single day and talking every single day because you're running a business together.
Yeah.
To now you're in different lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see, when that time, like we lived in sort of like near each other and all that, I moved to a completely different place. I'm running a completely new business. Like I have this life that I'm doing all on my own. So essentially what the friendship was changed. We're still good. Like if we meet up, if we get on a call, we still have so much love and so much fun with each other. It's just that it's not the same. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, but friendships evolve, even if you don't work together.
Yeah.
At some point, I think it's okay to grow up and like for it to just look different than it did when you were 24.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that I've learned. Maybe that friendship changes.
Yeah.
And friendships also have seasons.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
Like, and it's fine.
It's okay.
It doesn't mean you don't care about each other anymore.
It's
it doesn't mean you don't love each other anymore. It doesn't mean all the times that you had the friendship was nothing.
Yeah.
It's just that life changes and life has seasons.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
It looks different.
It looks different.
Okay.
That has been a hard one for me to process. Yeah. Because I thought like, no, we're friends forever. If we're talking every single day, we're going to be talking every single day forever. You know?
No.
and then you get to a point.
You just grow up and
life happens so much.
Yeah.
And you're in different seasons of life. You know, if you're in different seasons of life, it takes a very special and intentional efforts from everyone. And it has to be everyone for things to remain the same.
And it's kind of hard to expect that because everyone's living a different life and has different priorities and that's okay.
And everyone has so many things going on.
Exactly.
So many. Jesus Christ. There are so many things going on with life.
Yeah.
At times, you have those moments and then you realize, by the way, it's not about you. There's this book I love so much. It's called Big Magic. Big Magic talks about no one is thinking about you.
Nobody cares.
Even when you're afraid to do things because what will people say? What will people think? It's like no one is thinking about you.
I always say like, oh, Alma, you're so like, get over yourself. Yeah. Nobody cares.
Imagine nobody actually cares.
Nobody cares about what you're scared of.
Yeah.
Like, just get over yourself.
So one of the things Big Magic talks about as well is fear. And she has this very interesting narrative where she says, for her, she was like, hi, fear. It's okay. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We're just going to move along together.
Yeah.
But you're not going to paralyze me.
Exactly.
You're not going to make me not do things.
Yeah.
And I listen to mindset stuff a lot because I feel like you have to conquer your mind above everything. And one of the things I've learned is apparently your mind doesn't know the difference between the fear of a car coming onto you and the fear of you doing something outside your comfort zone.
It's all the same.
It's all the same to it.
Same kind of fear.
Yeah, it's the same kind of fear and the same kind of feeling.
It stems from the same source.
Yes. So you have to push through the discomfort part of it. And then your mind will be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Because I've noticed every single time I think something is scary in my head. And then I go ahead and do it.
It's not so scary.
At the end of it, I was always like, wait, what was I scared of?
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that fear, that fear was evolved from, when we had to run away from lions, and we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's now turned into fear of all these different things that challenge your sense of self.
Yeah.
And you just have to be really aware of that and tell your mind or your nervous system that this is not real. This fear is not real. You're not in danger. You're not fighting for your life. You're not trying to survive something. It's okay. And once you push through that fear, then it's not scary anymore. So you have to keep exposing yourself to these things, and and then it just becomes
and you
okay.
have to put yourself in such uncomfortable situations.
Absolutely.
I remember going to this hike at the beginning of the year, and like during the warm-up session, they were asking us what are our words of the year. And I remember saying my word of the year is do. And it was simply, all I want this year is to take action.
Yeah.
My God, I had no idea what I was setting myself up. Because this year I have done
a lot of things.
So many things that are so uncomfortable.
That's fantastic.
But it's been so amazing and so rewarding.
Yeah.
The
growth.
The growth
that happens.
is just... And then there's nothing as fun as when now you start to see everything rewards your efforts.
Yeah.
Like you've been doing these things and you're just pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And then the universe just starts rewarding it.
Yes.
And blessing it.
Yes.
And it's the best kind of thing. And I think especially as women, there are so many of us women who don't do things because of fear.
But it's that socialization.
Yeah. And we disqualify ourselves so much. I think we were having the conversation of the grant I applied like so many years ago, and how I didn't almost apply for the grant because after I started doing the application, I was like, but this doesn't make sense. What if it's not? What if it's not? And it's just that limiting beliefs is the other things we need to deal a lot with, and fear. And then I remember at some point I even quit on it. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. It's okay. I tried. And then after several weeks, I was like, no, Eunice.
You got to do it. You
have to see it through.
Yeah.
Not for anything, but just see it through. And I remember I just sat on my laptop, finished the application, and I was
send.
like, hit send. And I was like, you know what? God, I did my best. Whether anything positive comes from this or not,
that's okay.
The only thing I will know and I will take with me is that I had an idea. I put it on paper. I did an application and I saw it through to the end.
Yeah. It's the process. It's the process that we have to fall in love with, isn't it? Not the outcome.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Tell me why I won the grant.
I know.
And I remember thinking, again, can I tell you how crazy limiting beliefs are? Because they first sent the email saying, congratulations, you've been chosen. And then there were 2 different awards. There was, let's say, an award for 900K, and then an award for 3.6 million. So when I saw the congratulations, I was like, naturally, of course, it's
the 900.
The 900K. No, as life would have it, I'd want the bigger amount. And then you've already gotten all this confirmation, and the process is going on because there were so many people. It was a business plan competition by World Bank. And every single time you start saying, maybe it was a fake.
Yeah.
Maybe it was real.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to disqualifying yourself from things and sort of like not thinking you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I think now that is one of the things that her legacy has been healing for me. It's the limiting beliefs that I had. Because, people tend to assume, oh, you're this confident girl out here. You don't have any... The amount of times, oh my God, you have to tell yourself, you got this, you can do this, you deserve this. Those affirmations people think are stupid. I swear they are not.
No, you have to do it.
You have to affirm yourself so much. You have to remind yourself of so many things, And I still was questioning it, even in the middle of the process, and you've gotten the confirmation and you've signed the contracts, So I think one of the things her legacy has done for me is heal all that trauma, the not getting a job, the what, all those things get to you. Because, you've worked so hard, you were told, work hard in school.
Yeah.
And life would be simpler. Then you work hard in school.
And life is not simpler.
Life is not simpler.
Life is not easier, guys.
Someone told me, the biggest lie anyone can make you believe in this world is that simply because you're a good person,
that the world owes you.
The world owes you, or good things will happen to you.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, that's not it. Unfortunately.
That's not it, unfortunately. So it has been an interesting journey because her legacy has been a journey of self-discovery. It has been a journey of me refining me. Because without realizing, all those years of running a business, I had lost so much of myself. I had lost so much of my self-worth, who I am, my true north as a person, what I want, what I believe in. And her legacy has been healing that. Yeah. So I like to say her legacy is my second chance journey, my starting over journey, because I had to start over at 32.
Is that old?
Oh God, that is old. What do you mean? People are doing everything the most at 32, and me at 32, I didn't even have a single coin to myself. Girl. And I'm a mom. And I have to raise humans.
If you think 32 is old to start, the rest of us are doomed, because it's okay to start at any age.
That's the thing. It's actually okay to start at any age. Yeah. It is. I think that's the thing that I'm learning.
My parents, actually. Yeah. When I think about, and it's probably not something that our parents teach us, especially parents of that generation.
Yeah.
And they tell you, go to school, pick a career, stick to it, and that's what it's going to be.
You're going to automatically get a job and finances and all these things.
Exactly, and that's what you're going to do for a good majority of your life. And that's not actually how it happened. I think about both my parents, actually. They had so many careers. No way. And when you're a kid, you're not thinking about it. Yeah. And you still think like, oh, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to go to college, and then I'm going to pick a degree, pick a career, and that's what I'm going to do for a long time. Yeah. And then it wasn't till I was older, I realized my parents have done everything. And even in their 40s and 50s have decided that they're going to start something and do something. So I'm just like, that age thing, that clock, whatever clock is ticking, that everybody keeps feeling like, oh, I'm too old to do this, or I'm too old to start this. Fam, get cracking, because
start today.
Yeah, start today. Yeah. Because you can reinvent yourself at absolutely any age.
That's
absolutely
true.
Any
I think
age.
that's the thing. Now that's the biggest take home.
And feel entitled to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Feel very entitled to do that. It's your right to do that. Yeah. Do what you want. Start everything, try everything, fail at everything. It doesn't matter what age you are. As long as you have your health. That's the biggest thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know. Start at any age. And start as many times as you need to.
As many times as
you want to start over again next year? Sure thing. Do it. Because there's magic in it. And then you learn. Magic. You're never starting from zero.
Yeah. You're starting from a place of experience.
Yes.
Experience.
Yeah.
So you have the upper hand over all the youngins who don't have that experience.
Imagine.
So, look, 32 to me is a baby. So, okay. But I understand what you're saying. You have children to take care of at that point. So and I was talking to someone actually about this, a previous guest, Linda, and she said, starting over at 40 looks very different.
Linda Finance for Families?
Yes.
I know her.
Linda Finance. Yeah. Shout out, Linda.
Yeah.
Starting over at 40 looks very different than starting over at 20, right? You have all these responsibilities.
At 20, are you even starting over?
I don't know. You're just starting. You're just starting. Or even 30. I think it's about the responsibilities that you might have.
Yeah.
And so you were young, but you had responsibility. You had kids. You had responsibilities. And so I get what you're saying in that regard. It's very scary. And it's way more scary than starting over without those responsibilities. I completely understand what you're saying.
I think it's one of those things I never understand because you see, basically I've been a parent for as long as I've been an adult.
True.
Yeah, so I feel like when people talk about not having the responsibilities,
it's weird.
It's such a foreign concept for me.
Hey.
What are you saying? From the first time I had to move out, I had to think about a room for the kid, a house and water and so many. I've been taking care of an extra or two extra people.
Yeah.
For as long as I've been an adult. So it's must be nice.
Look, I told you I was acting a fool at 23, 24, 25. How unserious I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I appreciate actually. I actually wish I started getting serious at that age. I think I'd be a lot further right now. But yeah, I mean, life has a different path for everybody.
It does,
and it happens for a reason.
It really does, and it happens for a reason.
Yeah,
because at times I think once in a blue moon, let's even say a red moon, I've had moments where I wonder, what would my life have been like if I didn't become a ma'am young? Not becoming, for me, motherhood is part of the journey through and through. But I always wonder, but I feel like I would have been a very unserious character.
That's actually what you would be. For real, guaranteed.
I liked life.
Guaranteed.
I was a party girl.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
So I imagine when you don't have the responsibilities, and then for some reason it will have been a completely different path where you get a job, you're traveling and all these things.
Yeah.
I feel like it will have been a very completely different life.
Yeah.
Where I'm so I'm always so grateful for it. You want to go this and this and that, but when it's all said and done, you're exactly in the path that you're meant to
be. Absolutely.
In one way or another, you'll have ended there.
Absolutely.
And everything happens for your reason. Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to talk about taxes. Tax system in
your favorite topic.
My absolute favorite topic.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what we need to know as business owners.
Yeah.
About our fiscal policy. Mm-hmm. What we need to do, what we need to know as small business owners, as women.
Yeah.
For someone who, for example, myself, for someone who outsources a lot of my bookkeeping and managing finances and taxes and things, what do I need to know? Because I know that some people outsource, some people study and take the initiative to really understand fully for themselves. What do I need to know?
I think you just need to have the basic understanding of how everything works.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe it's no longer enough to outsource or have someone doing things for you because when it's all said and done, it's your responsibility. Mm-hmm. Because if today Carrie comes in and there's a problem with your company,
it's you.
No one will care who you outsourced.
Yeah. It's you.
It's you.
Yeah.
So I believe that, and especially as a business owner, you need to invest some time and possibly some finances in learning a few things about taxes. Like what are your tax obligations, responsibilities? When are you meant to start paying for things? Like whenever you're deciding a business structure, what are the tax implications for it? Get yourself in a space where you understand the changes that are happening. When you hear KRA has announced this thing.
There's a lot of changes that keep going down. And I'm just like, here we go again.
Yeah, so what's happening is, like, let's say right now, the big thing right now is something called eTIMS.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, everyone wants to say, KRA had just brought in eTIMS. But in actual sense, eTIMS has been mandatory since 2022.
Yes.
So what happens is, as Kenyans, we have a culture where we'll not do something until it's being forced down our throats. And then the moment it's being forced down our throats, we want to complain that, oh no, this is just being added to us out of the blues. It's not, for crying out loud. But isn't that what happened? I swear, I hear this story every single day.
Just happening.
No. In fact, you should see the comments on my videos. In fact, at times I'm just like, God, if only I could respond to people how I want to. And then you remember decorum. So the thing is, eTIMS was announced and made mandatory from 2021 running into 2022.
Yeah.
In fact, they had a deadline that was even extended.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Months.
Yeah, I remember.
Come in 3 years later, KRA have found a way of making it mandatory.
Yeah.
And people want to say, KRA are bringing us something new every day. No, they're not. eTIMS has been there for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Everyone has had a chance. You see, let's say, VAT registered businesses, eTIMS has not been optional.
Yeah.
eTIMS VAT, for VAT registered businesses, it's 1. What has now been made mandatory is now the eTIMS version of non-VAT registered businesses.
Yes.
So that is what is being implemented.
Yes.
So you see how they said it, or how the announcement was done, is for 2025 filing, which will happen from 2026, all the expenses need to be eTIMS. What basically that is saying is they need to be true actual expenses, because there are out here people who are faking those expenses. But genuinely, if you ran your business this year and you are at a loss and you have the paperwork to prove it, then no one has a problem with it. So the thing that a lot of people are struggling with, it's not, what's the word? It's that now there are systems in place that are making loopholes harder. And of course, anytime systems and change come in, change is messy through and through.
Yeah.
For me, I saw someone comment on one of my videos and they were like, you accountants get so happy when KRA announces these things. And
do you get happy?
The happiness...
It means money for you. Now you have to educate everyone.
The happiness is in the fact that people are starting to value our services more.
That's true.
And of course, that's a happy point for me, because I didn't go to school...
For nothing.
Yeah. So I'm happy, but at the same time, it's a good thing, because now you see those, what are they called? Leaks. The tax leaks that are there are being tied. They're being made tighter. And you see, eventually, it might not be today, tomorrow, or next year, or even the next year, or even in this regime, but eventually, the moment the system is working and working with everyone playing their part, the other part of it is going to work as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I have so many thoughts on...
I know. I can see your face.
I have a few thoughts on that. I think it's important to tie the loose ends.
It is.
But it's also important for a system to work the way it's supposed to work.
That's true.
And for governance to be honest and efficient.
Yes.
And I think that's where I have the problem with with all the changes and having to be compliant and making compliance so such a challenge for most people.
Yeah.
For a lot of businesses.
Okay.
Which I shouldn't say most people.
Yeah.
Is that the governance side of our fiscal policy is just not, it's not what it's supposed to be.
I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And at times I even feel like I want to ask the people who are coming up with the policies, like even when, like let's say last year, the last 2 years, there's been this program called Amnesty.
Mm-hmm.
And someone will run the Amnesty program, but I always wonder, by the time you're deciding on this policy and you're saying you want it to help the taxpayers, have you really thought it through for it to be in a way that it will actually help the taxpayers?
Yes.
So like that is one of those ones that really bugs me, because let's say they always give amnesty, but they skip that current year.
Yeah.
So you're telling Kenyans you want to give them a fresh start. If someone could ask me, I don't know if they will ask me, maybe I'm too small for them, but tell them, if you're going to offer amnesty, give a clean amnesty that's up to now, such that when you're offering someone amnesty today on their penalties and updating, you're telling them, starting now, you have a clean slate. So moving forward,
you need to be compliant.
Yes, you need to be compliant. Because right now when they do amnesty, they always have a whole year that is left blank. And most times, if that person had a problem or they were not like doing taxes or they didn't know, because a lot of Kenyans actually don't have a problem with taxes. It's just that they don't have the right information. They don't have the right knowledge. There's the section of Kenyans who taxes for who, but there's...
For what?
For what? No.
Me?
Yeah, but for business owners, it's a different ballgame. Because you see, as a business owner, today you don't want to disrupt your business because of tax.
It's true.
You've put in so much work, resources, and everything to build that business. You wouldn't want to be disrupted by something as small as tax.
Yeah.
So for a lot of small business owners, they don't have a problem with being compliant. They don't have a problem with paying taxes. They just don't have the right guidance. They don't have the right information on the things that are meant to be done the right way. And ideally, that's one of the gaps we are trying to fill at Her Legacy.
Yeah.
Because we're doing the tax education, and then we're also doing the services, like we're just guiding you through it all. And it's a whole ecosystem of tax compliance that we're offering at Her Legacy. So I'm constantly shocked because like, oh, man, I want to do things the right way. But now the other side of it, today you decide you want people to be good. Can you create a policy that actually helps them and their communication? Last year, there was a change that was done in December. So whoever announced the change and tables it or whatever the political term is, they do not communicate to KRA the right time. So come January, when we're filing returns for KRA don't even have the right schedule.
They don't know what they're doing
to implement the change. Yet the people who announced it, they're like, the change is effective 27th December. 3 days are not enough for people to create an entire form that's bigger than it to implement that.
Yeah.
So there's that, the communication. So I don't know if that's the policy. Okay, just don't do policy element of it, but there needs to be that part where the policymakers and the authorities are working together and also getting the information for what is needed out here. Because at times the politics are like, for who is that benefiting?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess without getting into the politics of it, I suppose that makes your work, your job a lot harder. But if these systems and all that, I mean, how do we as women business owners get compliant, remain compliant, and are there ways that we can work the system that helps us thrive, really? That helps us thrive as business owners?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a way for us to thrive? And is that simply by being completely, totally, utterly compliant?
I believe it's just a matter of, and I know a lot of people get mad when I say this, but it's just doing things the right way.
Yeah, doing things the right way.
Doing things the right way. Like from the onset, the Like, let's say you have employees, you're meant to be doing what? Statutory taxes.
Yep.
Do that.
Yep.
The moment your company has gotten to like past the VAT threshold, just register for VAT. 5 million a year. Register for VAT. And then you see, now one of the issues where I see a lot of people, like let's say VAT is one of those things where someone is like, okay, I'm not at the VAT threshold, they didn't register. Someone at KRA comes and tells them, you need to register for this now. So I see issues there because there are people who don't think about factoring taxes to their prices. So you hear people say, taxes are killing my business. But how taxes are killing their business is this person was selling an item at 10,000. When they're told now they are VATable, they don't remember to go back and reevaluate the 10,000 to take into consideration the VAT. And I've seen this. So this person essentially, if their price was 10,000 before VAT and they maintain their price at 10,000 after VAT, it's eating into their profits. So they're going to feel like the government is ruining their business, but essentially it's a pricing problem. That's a bookkeeping problem.
Okay, I'm just going to speak. I'm going to speak from this person's point of view. This person is charging 10,000 because also the market is informing him to charge that 10,000. And regardless of what everybody else is doing, if he were to be to factor in VAT, that would make him less competitive than the rest in his industry. And that, I mean, everyone's just doing whatever they want to do. And you can't say that everyone is compliant and his competitors are compliant. Yeah. And whatever happens to them is their business, right? But if he is charging whatever it is and not factoring VAT, perhaps it makes him less competitive and it affects his business.
I have this thought process that the moment we're all being compliant, even our business environment will be better because we start competing on different factors.
Absolutely.
Because you see now, even people will now have to go like, okay, what does my customer care look? Such that you find a situation where you'll go buy something at a higher price from someone because there's something they make you feel.
That, I guess that's a very specific
or
type
there's,
of person.
There are different things. Yeah. Like, people have different preferences. There's someone who'll shop something at a place where it's sold higher because maybe when they get to, let's say, that shop, there's a way the customer service lady talks to them.
Whatever value perception that they have.
So, value perception. So, I genuinely feel that when we are streamlined and so everyone is compliant, businesses start competing
for other reasons.
But that's
and
the
utopia world that we actually do not live in. Facts. Like, we don't live there. This is what it is. And so I get that, like, I really think, yes, everyone should be compliant. But it's just, practically speaking, this is where we're at.
But, you see what I was saying about setting things the right way. Yeah. The moment you're doing things the right way from day one, even when you're setting your prices,
you're all good.
You've already taken the taxes into consideration such that if today I'm charging, let's say, X amount for a service, I know I may get to a point where I'll have to charge VAT. Yeah. So at this point where I'm setting my prices, I think about, will I want to push VAT to my client or not? Or right now, am I going to set a price such that if I get there and I want to have this price inclusive, I'm still good. Yeah. So you see, it comes down to the structure and the foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still going to stand on that competitive pricing factor. Just in reality, that's just what it is. I think I'm just speaking from an experience that I had in the past, running in hospitality. Okay. First of all, in hospitality, there's all these
catering levy, tourism levy,
VAT, and then your inputs are not vatable either. And so by the time you have priced your item, who's paying for it is my thing. Like, who's paying for it? Yeah. One. Second, what is your margin? Yeah. Bruh. So I think it's frustrating, and I think it applies to in certain industries. I think it's fine, and you'll get by. And I think being, it works out.
Yeah.
But in other industries, there's some industries where it's just impossible.
I agree with you.
Impossible to take home any kind of margin with all the different deductions that you have to make and be competitive.
Yeah.
True. So I don't know. I think it's something to think about and consider when you're going into business. But I agree, being compliant from day one is the easiest way. But now you have to pick your business very strategically. Just consider all these things when you're deciding, okay, I want to start a business in this thing, in this environment. Yeah. Is this environment favorable to that kind of business?
I think that's actually it. Like the questions, those, like in the midst of getting excited about starting a new business, thinking about all those things.
Yes.
It's what people don't think about. And it's
Absolutely.
Now we have systems. And you see, when we are in a system-based environment, then you're going to feel the pinch of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What are your thoughts on tax on it's turnover?
Turnover tax.
Turnover tax. Tax on turnover.
I feel like
turnover tax.
That's one of those taxes that to me makes no sense. Not in terms of the percentage, but in terms of the workings. Because ideally, turnover tax is charged at 1.5% on your gross revenue.
Yeah.
Which means no one cares about your expenses.
No one cares about your expenses, your profit, your loss, your nothing. Just give us 1.5%.
And you see, essentially, expenses, you're already paying tax. You should be able to work that back. So the other thing I have a problem with turnover tax is said is for businesses between 1 million
and 25
million.
That's the one I was thinking of.
So if you're doing turnover tax, and then they tell you VAT threshold is 5 million. Don't they feel like there's a gap here? Because you can't do 1 to 25 and then starting at 5.
Yeah.
Because someone who's at turnover doing 7 feels that they're right. But there's someone from KRA who will go and harass these people because they're not on VAT.
Yes.
So I personally feel that turnover tax is one of those things that has not been well thought out.
Yeah.
Because you see, the idea for them was it's for small businesses who, but if you're talking about someone doing 25 million in a small business environment, that's not a small business.
It's not. It's actually not. But 1 million is small business.
Up to 5 million. If you don't expect your business will ever go past 5 million, then that's okay.
Yeah.
You can do turnover. But you also don't have to do turnover because you can just file your returns at the end of the year.
Yeah. But do you have, is it true that you have the option to just file as normal or decide to do turnover tax?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of those things. In fact, I did a video recently where I was telling people turnover tax is not the opposite of VAT.
Yeah.
Just because you're not registered, you're not at the VAT threshold, doesn't mean you automatically have to go for turnover tax. Remember, you have to file turnover tax every month. You have to pay for it every month.
Yes.
Imagine telling a small business to start thinking about filing their taxes by a certain deadline every month. That makes no sense. Every month. That's annoying.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like I can't imagine. You see, like if I wasn't in that space and you're telling me to have to think about filing my taxes, every month, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're going to introduce a tax bracket or a tax obligation that's meant to be simplifying the life of a small business owner, then you really need to think about the workings of it, and it needs not to have the ambiguity, because 1 million to 25 million, and then another one starts at 5 million. Then what's the bridge there?
Yeah.
You can't tell me a business that's a small business that's doing 25 million is considered a small business. And I'm sure this small business, if they're found they're doing 25 million and they're not on VAT, they're going to be harassed. Yes, that's the most unfortunate thing. So there also needs to be the thought process behind it. And at times I feel like maybe they need to get business owners making these policies.
I say this stuff all the time. I'm just like, there's no one in the game who is actually running a business.
Exactly. Because as a business owner, you understand things in a different way.
Yeah.
Someone called me the other day.
And are there economists as well? I want to know, like, what is everybody's qualifications? Because I don't feel like there are any business owners. There are no economists. I don't know what people are doing, but okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here we are, your economists.
Exactly. I'm saying I don't know what they those folks
I'm telling you, this is what your economists are doing out here.
Setting the policies for us. There's no economists.
I was having a conversation with someone and they're telling me, and I've seen so many conversations where I was like, I went to KRA, and they're like, I'm not going to do this for you if you don't give me 3 million. And in my head, I'm wondering, do you know how you're affecting a small business owner? When you're asking them for any amount of cash for no particular reason. You see, if it's their tax liability, that's different. But I'm like, can you people be business owners for a day?
But that's why I keep saying, like, it's the reason why it's so difficult is so that people can continue eating.
But now the most unfortunate thing, there's the people who are trying to eat and they're not even the government. Is this someone who felt like, oh, I work here now, I can frustrate people however way I want?
Yeah.
There was this guy and he was asking my client for some money. And then I told him, so he's like, can you just tell your client to pay this much? And I literally asked him, if my client is struggling to pay this amount that they actually owe the government, how can you expect they have money to pay you? And for what exactly? What exactly?
Yeah.
And he was just like, he solved the case within a few days after that.
So I think you were lucky there.
No, I think there's also the part where you need to stand on what you believe in.
Stand on business.
Stand on business. But you see, the confidence, let's say for me, it comes from, I make sure my clients are doing the right thing. You know how they always say someone will find a way. If you have done everything the right way and all of it is documented the right way,
you're good to go.
Someone can't come and plant something out of the blues on you.
It's true.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
But then, is your business surviving, is my question. Mm-hmm. Is your business surviving? Mm-hmm. So are these policies conducive to the survival of a business and the growth of a business? That's my question.
I think when everything is set up the right way and you have your systems for your business growth, then yes, it is. Okay, I've seen businesses grow out here insanely, and they do taxes by the books. Like every single part of it. It doesn't matter how many hundreds or how many millions they have to pay. They do it by the book. So, but what I notice as well is they had it like that from the beginning. So you see, even as their businesses are growing, when it goes from one branch to 2 branches,
it's a consideration that they've made from the beginning.
They've already made it. So the policies or the changes don't affect them so much. It's a very tiny, insignificant change that they can roll with it.
Okay. Well, I think we can talk about this all day.
I know.
And agree and disagree and all the things. But I think just to I guess to sum it up, you would say everything by the books from day one.
Yeah.
What other tips would you have for a small business owner when it comes to taxes?
Educate yourself.
Educate yourself.
On what's going on. Do things the right way. Have the right systems in place and educate yourself.
Yeah.
Because people out here will try to take advantage.
Yeah.
And education is your power.
It is. It is. We'll share all your links and contacts so that whoever wants to reach out to you can do so to get more information about what you do and the services that you offer.
Yeah.
I think selfishly, I want to ask what creators need to know about their taxes.
I feel like creators are especially one of the, in fact, they have the biggest struggles because creators are all about their creativity.
Yeah.
They don't think about the workings of everything. But one of the things I see affect a lot of creators is most of them fall under, they get taxed under consultancy, which means they get taxed under withholding tax.
Withholding tax.
So one of the things I've seen is a lot of them did not get the memo that someone might withhold your money and not declare it with KRA, which means they're just keeping your money in their pocket.
Do you have the option of doing that yourself?
The withholding?
Yeah.
No. You see, ideally, if someone is doing withholding, so the thing creators need to be careful of, if someone has withheld your money, ensure you get a withholding tax certificate. Because otherwise, they've just kept your hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So because most creators fall under that, it's just that. Be keen. If someone is withholding money from you, always follow up and make sure that you get your withholding certificate. Because this withholding tax certificate, the amount that's there, it goes to reduce your tax liability at the end of it all.
Yes.
The other thing people need to learn is withholding tax is not final. I've had people say, we'll just get taxed by withholding because that's the end of it. No. That 5% is not final tax. After that 5%, that 95%, at the end of the year, will be taxed again.
Here we go.
If you don't have the right expenses. And that's one of the things people don't seem to realize. I don't know why.
So you need to account for your expenses.
You need to account for your expenses so that when it's all said and done now, you're going to be taxed on your profits, not on your revenue. Because you see, if we did 100%, 5% was taxed already. The other 95%, if you don't have eTIMS expenses, and right now it's not just expenses anymore, it's eTIMS. If you don't have eTIMS expenses, then that 95% is going to be taxed in full. But see, if you had eTIMS expenses and they reduce your tax liability, you get taxed on profits. Whatever you'll get taxed will be way less. So what creators need to do is ensure they're getting an eTIMS receipt everywhere. Start keeping their records. I know that's the part no one likes.
Yeah.
But we are living in a world where we have systems that allow you to do these things. The accounting software that I use, it has a mobile app that I'm able to just take a picture of whatever receipt or whatever I'm paying for and upload. And that record is there.
Yeah.
So even if I don't have someone doing my books month on month, when they review my books at the end of the year, they have all the supporting documents and everything and keep records.
Yeah.
Because legally you're meant to keep records. I don't know if it was 7 years or maybe 5, but that's why even when KRA is doing an audit, they always ask for records for 5 years because that's the legal stipulation. So whatever you do, don't pay for something and throw it away.
Yep.
And then notice all these places that you pay tax on. When you fuel, you're paying tax.
All taxes.
Ask for your receipt. When you go to the supermarket, ask for your receipt. All those are things that will help reduce your tax liability. So it's not all dark and gloom when it comes to paying taxes. There's the liability, but there are all these deductions that are allowed in the process of running your business or doing your consultancy. And the best part of being, like, let's say, a consultant is everything is an expense.
Yeah. That's if you're a consultant.
Yeah.
I know that there are restrictions on some of these things for certain types of businesses. When you're collecting your receipts from the grocery store or whatever, I know there's certain restrictions, but as a consultant, I guess that works in your favor.
Book a consultation.
I got you.
Book a consultation and we'll talk more on all these things.
Cool. All right. I'm going to jump off into the quick fire questions.
Okay.
So you can just give me short, brief answers.
Okay.
Advice to someone who wants to start a business with their friend.
Honestly, define everything from day one.
Yeah.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like the one thing in this world I didn't think would happen was that business would ever end.
Fall out, yeah.
Or would ever walk away from that. And no. If you're going to get into a partnership, and not just with a friend, but with a friend more specifically, have clear rules.
Yeah.
Have clear what everyone is meant to do. Have clear what everyone's responsibility is. Let everyone be held accountable and be able to benefit from their efforts.
Yes, it's true. I think we're more likely to have formal agreements with people who aren't our friends. We tend to get into business with friends and just think that the friendship will carry them through. But I agree with what you're saying.
Have
you got to put it on paper.
Family.
Family. That's a whole other topic. But yeah.
Clear agreements. I think just generally for partnerships, you have to, because it's very easy for someone to always feel like they're being shortchanged. Yeah. But when you have everything clearly, then you see everyone knows what role they have to play and what they have to benefit from there. Yeah. But again, protect the friendship, because friendships are precious.
Yeah. Hardest lesson you've learned the expensive way?
Again, systems.
Yeah. One boundary that changed your life?
I've learned to say no.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Even when it... I used to feel like...
cringy.
Saying no to people I care for literally hurts me physically. It felt like physical pain.
Yeah.
Like those people who my first instinct is to put others before me. And when I had to change that and start putting me, because I realized out here people are just taking care of themselves, and you're allowed to take care of yourself first and then you take care of other people. That moment where I had to start saying no, it literally hurt physically.
But it's liberating, right?
Best thing in the world. Nowadays, I think one of the things I enjoy is knowing I have the option of saying no.
Yeah.
And I have the option of asking, hi, can we reschedule this? Because my mind is not in the right, like it's actually okay.
It's okay to do that.
It's okay to do that. And I think that has been the best one for me.
Yeah. Mental health over everything, huh? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can talk about that forever because, my God.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting how you grow and break at the same time.
Yeah.
Like as I've been getting liberated in everything that I'm doing, as I've been refining myself, I've also had the most struggles with my mind.
Yeah.
So it's such a bittersweet. Like, let's say you look at this year. This year has been amazing in terms of the business and the brand going. But this year I've struggled so much, where I'm like, I need to just...
Yeah.
So it's the paradox of life, right?
It is.
But it's all part of the magic.
It's part of the magic and it's part of living.
Yeah. I used to be those people who used to believe in being strong.
Yeah.
You do this. And the other day I was having a conversation with this friend who owns one of the most amazing brands. And I met her and I was like, oh, today you look better. And she's like, I had a good cry in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we cry, we have coffee, and we kick ass.
Yeah.
And that's life.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And I've learned it's okay at times to let the people who care about you, it's okay to let them, I'm not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the final boundary I've learned is having friendships that you're able to tell people, I can't do this plan because I'm not stable right now. Or I can't do this plan because, you guys, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
My finances are different. It's so refreshing.
Yeah. And being okay with that.
And I think that has just been a highlight for me. That was like, whoa. I used to wonder, how can I tell my friends I can't hang out with them? I don't have money.
Yeah.
What will they think? They'll judge me. And then right now it's like, I call a friend, we're like, we have plans. Like, will there be plans within the plans? Because I cannot afford to do that. And they're like, no. And it's not even a weird conversation. It's a very normal conversation. And I think that's one of the things that I'm loving so much about adult friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's money. Like the money conversations and money relationships are just amazing. Yeah. It's not cringy. It's just a fact.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You, Eunice. So insightful. Thank you so much.
So much fun talking to you. Can sit here and yap forever.
Let's do a part 3, a 2 and 3. Awesome.
We'll see.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.